Sci Access, May 11, 2024. Empowering through education. Voyage's mission to support high school students with disabilities. Ceyhan, Cindy Ann, Abigail Dumm.
Okay, so thank you guys so much for being here with us today. My name is Abby Dumm. I use she, her pronouns, and I'm a white woman with long brown hair. So today we're going to be talking about an organization called Voyage. On the screen is a sailboat abstract image on a sea, which is the logo for our organization. And so we are a student organization through The Ohio State University. And what we do is we take college student volunteers and we partner with local organizations in the Columbus area to create mentorship opportunities for them. So the mentorship is tailored to the individual. So we do things such as college applications, community involvement, employment, and class support. So the mission statement of Voyage is to create a world where higher education and career guidance is attainable for all disabled youths. So a little bit about our team. Here's a picture of our team standing outside on the oval right outside the Union at Ohio State. Going to the next slide. Okay, so we have three co-founders who are all here with us today. I can have them introduce themselves to you.
Hello, my name is Ceyhan. I'm a white male with black hair. I'm an Ohio State graduate with a degree in molecular genetics and a minor in history. I have an experience as a patient care associate for people with disabilities, and I've had impactful experiences in structured mentorship environments. And mainly my day-to-day, I help research gene therapies for neurodegenerative disorders.
So a little bit about me, it's Abby again. My name is Abby Dumm. I'm a health sciences major at OSU in the pre-occupational therapy track, and I minor in American Sign Language, Disability Studies, and Assistive Technology. So I tutor students through the TOPS program, which is a transition program for students with disabilities at Ohio State. I'm also a college intern with the Ohio Department of Education's Exceptional Children Department. I do research with a rehabilitation engineering design lab, and I'm certified in diversity, equity, and inclusion.
Hello, my name is Cindy, and I am an Asian woman with long black hair. I'm a first-year neuroscience major at Ohio State, and I've had experience peer tutoring people with disabilities since I've been in high school, so it's been about 4 years now. I tutor for Schoolhouse.World, which is a nonprofit run by Khan Academy, and I do research through the Axon Glia Lab on nerve degeneration.
We also have one more member of our organization that's not here today. That is our advisor. So this is Dr. Evelyn M. Hogland. She is a white woman with gray short hair, and she is a speech language pathologist with a master's in speech language pathology and a PhD in speech and hearing science. So she did a lot of work helping us get this organization started. We are only a year old, so we owe a lot to her. She's been a great help in all of this. So a little bit about the statistics behind why we started Voyage for Columbus. So 16% of disabled students earn a bachelor's degree in comparison to 27% of students that do not have a disability. And looking at 2 years outcomes after high school, 63% of disabled students are enrolled in post-secondary education, but only 72% of students compared to 72% of students without disabilities. So there's definitely a gap in terms of college access, comparing students that have disabilities to students that do not. And it's something that we wanted to address within our local community. Looking more specifically at STEM degrees, so 13.4% of the US population between ages 18 to 44 have a disability, but only 10% of undergraduate students that are pursuing a STEM degree have a disability, only 6% of graduate students, and only 2% of doctoral students. So despite 13.4% of the US population having a disability, there's a big lack of representation within STEM degrees, and it's something that we want to try to bridge that gap, at least in the Columbus area, through mentorship programs. Also looking at the 4-year longitudinal graduation rates between students with disabilities and students without disabilities, there's a big gap. Students with disabilities are closer to 65% graduation from high school, where students without disabilities are more like 82%. And this is a big gap because Obviously we want to make sure that students are able to graduate and be able to have access to those careers and outcomes that a degree is required for. Some unmet needs that we identified within the Columbus area is there are some social problems for students that have disabilities. They can often experience social isolation from their peers, and they can also encounter physical exclusion due to a lack of accessible spaces. They have a risk of poor developmental outcomes as well due to these isolation and exclusion. In terms of higher education, as talked about before, disabled students are underrepresented compared to their peers that don't have disabilities. They have a lower probability of completion of a degree as well, and they have greater difficulty adapting to a college environment, oftentimes due to a lack of accessibility at that college level. And then there's also some cultural issues, such as negative attitudes towards students with disabilities, a lack of resources, and then also inaccessible environments in general due to a lack of universal design. So all of these things are unmet needs that we identified within our Columbus area, and we wanted to try to find something that would help be a solution to that, and that's where peer mentoring comes in. So I'm going to pass it off to Cindy now, talk a little bit about what peer mentoring is.
Hi, it's Cindy again. So I've got a long history in peer mentoring, and basically why we decided to run this program and why we chose, instead of having professionals come in and do mentorship, we're doing peer mentors. So we recruit college students from Ohio State to go to surrounding areas within the community and mentor disabled students and support people within like a similar age range. And then there's lots of different uses for this because, one, it's easier to relate to high school students who, when it's a college mentor and they're in a similar age range and they've experienced similar things within systems, and then students who are in college as mentors are more up to date with the college application process. They are easier to connect with because it feels more like a friendship type of relationship rather than someone who is higher up speaking to someone who they are working with. And then because we have this peer mentorship, we are able to make all of the interactions individualized. So students are able to ask whatever they feel is most beneficial to them, and we can help them with that. So mentorship for students with disabilities, we do academic and career. So basically any schoolwork they need help with, we can increase their academic opportunity, and it's beneficial for achieving post-secondary goals. And then employability, we also do like resume and CV stuff. So we can help with interviewing skills, resume, basically just increasing their assertiveness and individuality in the job hunt and making it so that they can better represent themselves when these opportunities appear. And then independence, we are able to increase their self-determination by representing students who are in college and who have dealt with all of these similar issues, and then helping them get through these hurdles, and then increase social and emotional support. So the peers can talk to each other about similar stress situations they've experienced, and then this in turn increases self-confidence.
Okay, and now that we've gone through basically our first year, we can discuss the outcomes. So the program structure when we first enroll students into the program is we have them fill out a form, and these are the four main questions that we seek for them to answer. So we ask them what area they'd like to explore the most: personal development, college preparation, or career exploration. We also ask them what they want the most from their Voyage mentor and what you are looking to learn from your Voyage mentor. Most people, for their responses, leave it quite vague, and it's only after our first meeting that we really uncover like their true drives for what they want to pursue. But this helps us tailor for a more one-on-one individualized process. So through our partnerships with Columbus City Schools, we've been able to work at 3 high schools: Linden McKinley, Columbus Alternative, and Fort Hays. Our sessions ran through October through May. And just through our conversations and sessions, we found that most students were primarily concerned with math and science subjects. Personally, through my experience, a lot of these students, I thought the way that they were being taught math was quite memorization heavy. So we found like a better way to approach, especially with these students, is helping them think through these problems. That was also, it made math more fun and science more fun for them. We also partnered with the Hilliard YMCA, where our sessions have been running through March through present, as we'll be continuing over the summer. These students are mostly interested in college applications, so we help them with their essays and help them try to craft a narrative that better reflects who they are as people and what they want to convey to the admissions offices. So we've been established for 1 year. For the future directions, we're looking to establish some more professional development opportunities for members in the coming year. The previous talk was a really good example of this, where they had established internships for these high schoolers. We're also adding sessions at a new YMCA location, Whitehall, and establishing a new partnership with Ability Matters, which is quite exciting. So those are the future directions that we'll be looking for as we continue into the next year. So the goals for the program were to foster a sense of community among the participants, increase confidence of the members. That's been a major thing that we've noticed. Most of these students are perfectly capable, but whether through just being told or just through the self-thought, they automatically just think they can't do it. I see this a lot, especially in math. I'll have students solve math problems, and then I'll get to a problem where it's literally the same problem, but with different numbers, and then they'll just start overthinking it, or for some reason thinking they can't do it. So confidence is a big thing. I expose them to opportunities they did not know were available. Lots of them automatically rule out college. We've helped 2 students apply for Columbus State, and where they'll be heading next year. We hope to create long-lasting relationships between mentors and mentees. At least every time I go to a session, I'm quite excited because it's fun to hang out with these kids, and we always have talks about stuff outside of school. And we want to boost metrics like willingness to pursue higher education. So to summarize, we've talked about the discrepancies in outcomes for high school disabled students compared to those without. We've looked over the research that shows that mentorship can help improve outcomes and perspectives of mentees. And we established Voyage because we believe that there's an opportunity for Ohio State students to help address this gap. Now for questions.
Thank you so much. Let's see here if there are any questions for you. We have one question that asks, can you eventually work with those with intellectual and developmental disabilities and with other areas of the country?
Sure. So most of our students actually have intellectual disabilities. Those are our primary student population. The YMCA has been really nice because we've been able to work with students who are deaf because they provide an interpreter, which has been really nice. So that is obviously like a primary concern of ours, is we want to make sure that we're not like signaling or leaving out any people. For working in other areas of the country, yeah, we would love to. So we're already have grown. So just through Columbus City Schools, we're able to cover a large part of the city. And then through the YMCA, we're able to get more of the outskirts of the city as well. So that's definitely a thing that we're focused on, is making sure we're not just like in one small area. So if we could grow outside of Columbus too, that would be amazing.
SciAccess. Learn more at www.sciaccess.org.